In my brief interaction with Nishi this morning, I was very interested and happy to note that being a professional trainer, both of us shared certain attributes and certain experiences and certain data points, so to say. And the topic for today, which is borderless leadership, holds tremendous significance because it's extremely sure that in her lucid, interesting, and a transnational flavored talk, Nishi will tell us in simple terms how you can gear up for a world that is defined only by one thing, and that is continuous change.
We're going to talk about me and my journey. We're going to relate that to leadership. After all, if we cannot define leadership, then how will we even get to borderless leadership? So let's explore leadership first. Then we'll move into global, borderless leadership and all the global part that surrounds that. What does it really mean? The key question that you want to ask yourself is, what does leadership mean to you? It's not what leadership means to ask yourself when we talk about borderless leadership. Why do we even have this topic? Okay, obviously there's a lot of global opportunities right now. We have what we call open market. You can buy anything from China in the US. In fact, it's hard to find a US item. Try going to the US and want to take back a US product for your friends. It'll all say made in China, made in India. Very difficult. It's open market right now. So even more the need for globalization. Our manufacturing is being outsourced. And not only that, there's the white-collar woes. Because not only is manufacturing being outsourced, a lot of our services are being outsourced too. So as the IT starts to get improved, technology gets improved. Now there's a great quote here, Jack Welch. I love this guy. When you read his book, well, I relate a lot to him. Because at 24 years old, he wound up in GE, did all sorts of things, found himself some mentors. He, blew a roof up at one point. He did all kinds of things. But this guy went to the top. Stayed simple. His quotes are simple, and they're effective. In fact, Mr. Sandeep used one of his quotes this morning, or talked about GE. And that's because we all look at that. I mean, listen to this. If GE's strategy of investment in China is wrong, it represents a loss of $1 billion, perhaps a couple of $1 billion. If it is right, it is the future of this company for the next century. And look at the statistics. And what you have to look at is, what does this mean? 351 babies in India. Growing population. You probably will have enough work under your plate. Keep you going for a while. But the world is changing. And what you want to do is get into the global game. It's a game of management. And you've got to get in. And you have to know what are those skills. We talked about a few challenges to crossing borders. And listed for you are a number of the high-level challenges. Difference in customs. Workplace practices, foreign policies. The list is up there. In India, restaurants open at 7. In the US, it's all the time. I mean, work-life benefits, work-life balance, flexible time, working from home. In the US, we all have laptops. It's a normal thing to have a laptop. It's perfectly normal. But here, we're not all equipped with laptops. Our values are different, and where we place them. And how your environment, your historical background, and your philosophy and your religion, these are, at the core of a very strong foundation. Whatever that is for you is going to help shape the core value in America is a very informal basis. We don't have a phased approach. We just get right into it. Start talking personal chats, small talk, family, friends, personal stuff. Almost like how I was sharing with you today. That's me. That's what I do. But sometimes it can be looked at as a quick thing to make friends, ooh, And then what? What's the hidden agenda? It's a lot about challenges. And challenges, you know, it needs a lot of talking points because I'm living many of those challenges. And you need to be aware of those challenges. However, there's also the upsides, the pluses, the upswings, right? Learning the new culture. Even for me today, lighting the lamp, it's not that I haven't done it before, I have. But I never got the opportunity to light all 5 wicks. It's exciting for me. I've had, you know, other people and one at a time, each person does it. So I thought I was passing the candle along. And in my mind, as I stood there, part of me was thinking, okay, I know there's a rule. Left hand or right hand, there's a certain way. And that rule escaped me in the moment. It was just out of my head. And so I looked at your professor. I saw how he held it. And I said, aha, that's how I need to take it from him. Because I'm not used to that. And it's a different culture. And I appreciate that. And I learn from it all the time. But that's part of that. Also that synergy, working together, sharing of ideas, you know. 2 heads are better than 1. That's the excitement there. Leaders are not always right. And don't ever think leaders are right. Leaders need to be challenged too. All of us need to be challenged. New opportunities. I mean, there are people who will never move maybe from Delhi to Hyderabad. Why? Because you've got to start up all over again. Or New Jersey to North Carolina. Got to just start over again. But to move from one country to another, that's adaptability. Not everybody can do that. Because we want what we know. We want to see our food in our way, the way we know. How good are you at this global game? Is this what you want? Do you want it? Can you do it? And if you do, what level are you going to have to do it at? There's a cost with so many things. You can go to other countries, borderless leadership at its best. You leave behind your family. There's a cost. But you have to think, at what cost do I want this? So the goal level you can be on is not only to be a leader, but to live as a leader. Difficult to do. Winning.
I'm Tanu Tejas. My question is, can borderless leadership act as a driver of corporate change?
Can borderless leadership act as a driver of corporate change?
Yes.
Absolutely. There are many ways that it can do that, and I think the question for everybody is to understand borderless leadership first, and then think of the organization. Now, whether the organization is prepared for borderless leadership is another story. Because borderless leadership can fit in most places. Well, we have to be prepared. In most organizations, everything is already defined. Okay? The systems are in place, the documents are in place, but you know what they're not ready for? People like you. The leadership, the skill set, which is why they start to have training and so forth. So the borderless leadership part is actually happening, but it's how we actually embrace those changes that are not quite met yet, because people don't know what to do with it. Just like when I came, there were so many things the company wasn't prepared for, or vice versa. If you went somewhere else, they're not prepared for you. So it's going to be a two-way process.